Morning, my name is Phat. I'm with the National Peanut Research Lab in Dawson, Georgia. We have a joint breeding program with Auburn University and Dr. Charles Chen. I want to talk about some updates on potential new lines that we're evaluating, a couple lines, and then some update on the release line AU NPL 17. So the first line I want to talk about is the AU2310. It's a runner type, and it's a high yielding, a medium maturity with good resistance to tomato spot wilt virus and tolerance to leaf spot. It has a regular runner type growth habit with a main stem. It's a normal leg and good showing characteristics and good flavor. So next one I want to talk about is the AU2346. It's also a runner type. It's high yielder, medium maturity with good resistance to tomato spot wilt, leaf spot tolerance, and white mold. And has a runner type growth habit with a main stem and normal leg and good habit. So I want to show you some data in terms of the yield performance of the two advanced breeding lines, looking at the AU2310 and AU2346 against our two checks, AU NPL 17 and Georgia 06G. With three locations, we use 20-foot twin rows, and we have 4 replications. So those things are averages of the 3 locations. You can see with the mean of the varieties comparing to the average at the bottom, that AU2310, AU2346 are good yield. Looking at 2023 data, is again 3 locations in the same setup. We see that the average mean for all the 4 varieties we're looking at 58, 54, and AU2346 did very well in comparison. So this shows the 3 years average data of all the 3 locations together for both 23, 24, and 25, and the mean of those things comparing to the 2 checks. You can see that the 3 lines, the AU2346, AU2310, as well as AU NPL 17, is higher yielding comparatively to Georgia 06G. So looking at the yield performance of the 2 lines in the year 2025 with the Southeast UPT test, digging around 140 days, we see that the 2 breeding lines have competitive yield comparing to some of the other lines, and no statistical difference between them and 06G. So this shows a highlight of the again, the locations at Bruton, looking at disease. So the highlighted red color shows the 2 lines comparing to the other lines with the total of 16 lines as shown here. And looking at the average yield versus tomato spot wilt rating, leaf spots, and white mold. And the idea is to look for the lower numbers means a better value with the average for all TSWV is 2.0, and the line AU2310 is, in terms of tomato spot wilt, is significantly lower with good yield, and also AU2346 is comparatively to the average with good yield. So it has a good disease package as well. So looking at the seed size, we see that AU2346 is 750 seeds per pound, which is a little smaller seeded, comparatively to AU2310, 630 seeds per pound, which is similar to 06G in size. So I want to cover a little bit about the updates of the field performance of AU17 that was released in 2017. It's a runner type peanut with high yield maturity with about 145 days. It has strong resistance to tomato spot wilt with good tolerance to leaf spot and white mold. It has, again, the runner type growth habit with a main stem, and it's a higher leg versus a normal leg. with superior shelling characteristics and proven good flavor. So in terms of the disease rating, comparing that to the RX, the TSW is 10, leaf spots 15, and white mold is 15 rating. In that shows that it does have good package. Looking at non-irrigated peanuts variety screening, trial summary from the plant breeding unit in E.V. Smith, Alabama. We highlight the AU NPL 17 comparing to the AU 16, and other varieties are shown here in terms of the yield and disease ratings. It's very competitive, has good disease package, and also in terms of Alabama, especially in non-irrigated situation where as land is increasing in terms of dry land situation, that drought tolerance is with good stability and high yield is important. Also a combination of the good disease package. So under irrigated wiregrass, again in 2025 screening, we see that AU NPL 17 still performs very well with relatively high yield compared to some of the other lines. And under non-irrigated situation at Wiregrass, Alabama, we can see that again in AU NPL 17 yields very good quality. Again, the reason why this is kind of interesting line is because we've been using this, we do a lot of drought studies in different environment, and we find that this has a good drought tolerance, especially for the southeast area, where the irrigation sometimes is limited under dryland conditions to have no rain for at least a couple weeks to more than a month or 2 months sometimes. So what we hope is that the plant will recognize that stress and take defense to that so that it maintains very good growth and also contribute to high yield and low and with good quality of the seeds. What we find is that this particular line has what we call a water spender, which is a physiological term that we identifies because it has the capacity to maintain very high levels of physiological conditions. So it continues to use water and finds water, and it adapts to the environment so that under a mild stress situation or drought stress situation in the southeast, that it continue to grow and produce very well. And so we've also used this particular line as a parent source for any more breeding to combine different traits, but maintaining the drought tolerance characteristics. So it's quite interesting. The other thing is that this line is shown to have really good adaptation to developing a deep root system. So under condition where water is limited for longer periods of time, it can find water sources and maintain growth. So especially in areas where you have sandy types of soil and under situations where you don't get a whole lot of rain. So that's what we hope in the future. If things like that ever occur, we like to be ready for that. And so this is one of the things that we're pursuing, continued type of research and developing new lines that has that particular characteristics that we're maintaining, as well as disease tolerance and high yielding with good flavor. That's another thing that we like to maintain. So in terms of the pictures, this is what AU NPL 17 looks like. So you can see that it's a good distribution of jumbos and mediums with shiny pod characteristics. We're very consistent with 670 seeds per pound. It's about 170 grams per 100 pods. This is was exposed on a Facebook where an Alabama grower with about 300 acres posted this on Facebook, and he just, it's a funny line, just funny comment, but the breeding group for Alabama and you know, the peanut industry in whole is also looking at ways to maintain good quality, developing information about all the other things, grade, yield, disease, and physiological. All these things in combination with the water use, if you have a lot of water versus very limited water availability, to have high productivity and also maintain the quality of the seeds and the distribution as well. So I'd like to thank all the funding sources to continue this type of work. Thank you.